Okay, so we're still conditioning our document here. We're just trying to create this environment. It's clearly, you know, we have some stuff going on here. What I did just now is I hit a Control Enter, which put a page break there. So let me just zoom out. I'm gonna go to the View tab. I'm gonna go over to the Zoom group. I'm gonna click the one page button to zoom out, and I use that all the time. That little one page, it easily zooms me out so I can see everything from a distance. So let's go over what we have here. So it looks like a convoluted document here that has a bunch of spaces in it. And if we're looking at this document, I'm like, whoa, what's going on here? So if somebody sent me this document clearly needs to be cleaned up. Okay, so we got a lot of white space right here. We got some white space here. We got an indentation. This is also white space. This is blank space. We got some blank space here. If we look at the rest of the document, we can see that we don't have indentation here. Now, it may be that I want indentation, you know, but in this case, I don't. I'm looking at the rest of the document and everything seems to be lined up. There's not supposed to be an indentation here. We have some more white space over here, and we're overflowing to the next page. Okay, so we're overflowing to the next page, and then we're overflowing even more to another page. But this overflow up here is because we reached the bottom of the page. So when we reach the bottom of the page, Microsoft automatically brings me to the next page. Okay, but this one, we didn't overflow. This just seems to be on the third page for whatever reason. All right, so let's go ahead and correct these mistakes. Let me go ahead and just save this here. No, I don't want to save it there. Let's go to Excel. I know this is Microsoft Word, but I'm going to put it here. All right, so this is going to be our exercise file, or in other words, our activity file. And let's go ahead and correct these mistakes here. Too much white space going on. This is not what I want. I got all these extra pages here. These pages, I do not want these pages here. It's supposed to be one page, but if I look down here, I have 3 pages. All right, so no, it's not supposed to be 3 pages, only supposed to be 1 page. So let's remove these this white space here, and let's line everything up properly. Okay, so the first thing that I need to do is I need to turn on my non-printing characters. Okay, so I'm going to go to the Home tab. I'm going to go to the Paragraph group, and I'm going to click the non-printing characters, the Show Hide button. I'm going to click that, which is the non-printing character button. That's what I call it. All right. And we see all of these, we see some non-printing characters here now. We're a little zoomed out. We're going to have to zoom in and pinpoint what we want to work on first. All right. And that's actually like a rule of thumb. When you first open up a document, you want to look through the document, make sure everything looks hunky-dory, make sure everything is lined up. Okay. And you may want to take a look at your non-printing characters. I say about maybe 75% of the time, when I open up a document for the first time, I also turn on my non-printing characters just to see what's going on the invisible side of things. Because if I go ahead and turn these off, we can't see it. We really don't know what's going on here. We can't tell if this is a legitimate space or what type of space is it. I don't know what type of space it is. It could be some space that I use, you know, over here, and I did this. It could be that space. It could be a bunch of different stuff going on there. I can't see. But the first step to seeing what's going on in this area right here, the first step to seeing that is by turning on our non-printing characters. Okay, and I can see, let me go ahead and zoom in. Let me click right here, and then I'm going to zoom in on that space right there. I'm pressing this over here to zoom in. Like I told you earlier, you're going to be using this zoom all the time. If you're not using the zoom all the time, you're not taking advantage of all your tools. You need to be able to zoom out, zoom in. You need to be able to stand back and take an overall look at your document, and also pinpoint and look closely with a magnifying glass at your document also. You need to be able to do both of those things. So right now we took the magnifying glass and we're going to zoom in on these issues here. So we have this big white space here, and now I can see what the problem is. Okay, now is this always the problem? No, but this is the first step that you must take in order to solve problems like this. If you see too much space, the first thing that you need to do is find out what's really here. Because when you're dealing with white space, things are invisible. You can't see. There's nothing to indicate what's the reason for that white space. All right, until you turn on your non-printing characters, then it'll begin to give you visual aids, visual hints as to what's going on. So is it always the paragraph issue? No, but if it wasn't a paragraph issue, I can check mark that off and then move on to something different to try to determine what the issue is for all this white space. But in our case, it just so happens to be the paragraph marks are the issue. So what I'm going to do in order to clear these blank lines out, because these are lines. All right, this is one line of blank space, and then this is another line of blank space. And then there's actually some blank space between it, but that's a different story. We're not even going to mess with that right now. I'll explain that in the next video, for most likely tomorrow or one of the videos this week. Okay, but we're going to start by just removing this line of space here. So I'm going to click right in front of this paragraph mark, because technically I can't click over here. Nothing can be clicked over here. I can't click here. Nothing can be placed there. It doesn't make sense. You shouldn't be clicking here. Nothing can be placed after a paragraph mark. So by default, I'm going to click right here in front of the paragraph mark, and I'm going to delete that blank line of space here. I'm also going to press the delete button again to delete this blank line of space. And now everything looks back in order for this portion of the document. Okay, now we do have some space here. If you notice, every paragraph has a little bit of space between it. All right, that's called paragraph spacing. We're not dealing with that yet. We'll be talking about that a little bit different. But anyway, the paragraph spacing looks fine. I wouldn't remove this spacing. It's good. It's a good flow to the document. It gives spaces between each paragraph, which is fine. Now, if I did want to remove that, then we would have to go to a different tool. But right now, we're just dealing with the non-printing characters, and we're removing spaces that way. All right, so right then and there, we took the magnifying glass and we removed that space. Now, let's go ahead and stand back. Let's zoom out. Zoom out a little bit. And let's see where else are our issues here. All right, now I got an issue up here. Let's take a look. I'm going to click right here, and then I'm going to zoom in on my slider. And let's see here. Okay, so we got a big blank space here. I need to get rid of this space. Let me zoom out a little bit. Okay, there we go. All right, so let me go ahead and backspace that. And now, just to let you know, let me hit Control Z to where I was at. So there's a little bit of space here, but this space right here, there's a space before the paragraph mark, and clearly there's, of course, a blank space, a blank line of space after the paragraph mark. So this space here, we need to get rid of both of these spaces. So I'm going to click right in front of the paragraph mark, and I'm going to hit the backspace, and then I'm going to hit the delete button to delete. So if you remember, delete removes whatever is on the right side of the cursor. Backspace removes whatever is on the left side of the cursor. So in this case, because the paragraph mark is on the right side of the cursor, I'm going to press the delete key. Okay, so that looks good right there. Let me zoom out. There's one thing that this is not showing. I'm not sure if I took it off, and I was wondering what was going on there. But one thing that's not showing for whatever reason, maybe it's my computer, but there should be some tab marks here. There should be some tab marks here. I need to check out why that's not showing. It's most certainly probably going to show on yours. It's possible that I could have deactivated it when I'm, doing various experimentations and stuff like that. But right here, there should be two tab marks. Okay, so, and the tab marks look like this. If we go back to the notes, they're like little arrows. So they look like that. This right here. But for some reason it's not showing there, which is odd. Let me double check something here. Okay, there's one tab mark. I hit tab right there. Okay, so it's possible that it's not showing this tab mark because of it thinks it's just a regular indentation. Okay. In that case, we'll just click right in front of the V, and I'm gonna hit backspace. Well, I'll hit backspace one time and it removed it. If you may have to hit it 2 times to remove it. Okay. Let me hit the tab. Let me hit back there. Let me save that like that. Okay. So yeah, normally they must have changed it, which actually makes sense. You may not understand how it makes sense, but after all these years of using Microsoft Word, it kind of makes sense that they would finally remove the tab marks when I do it here. Okay, this is Microsoft Word 2024. You're using Microsoft Word 2016. So same deal though, because when you open this up on Microsoft 2016, you're most likely going to see 2 tabs here. If you don't, then fine. If you do, then same deal. Just remove the tab. So I'm going to place my cursor right here, and I'm going to click right in front of the V, left click right in front of the V, and I'm going to hit the backspace button. That's going to remove that indentation. And also, you see these tab marks now that I just put in. This is what the tab marks really look like. They look like arrows here. If I go ahead and hit toggle my non-printing characters off, there's a clear, big, gigantic blank white space here that looks really terrible. It doesn't even make sense. As a matter of fact, let me zoom out. I'm going to hit one page, and here, that white space has got to go. There's an error here. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and zoom in, and let me toggle on my non-printing characters, and let's go here. I'm going to click here, and let me go ahead and hit the backspace. Let me see, I have 2 tabs, so I need to hit backspace 2 times. So 1 tab is gone, and now 2 tabs are gone. All right, let me zoom out again, and let's see where we're at. Okay, so that looks fine. All right. Oh, we have this here. We'll get to this in a second. Let's come down and do some corrections here. So here we have the page break, and that's what's sending this text to the next page. Okay, that's one of the things that's sending the text to the next page. Let's get rid of this page break non-printing character. In this case, I'm going to place my cursor right after the page break. So I'm going to click right there. Let me see if yep. I'm going to click right. Let me zoom in a little bit. Okay, so I'm clicking right in front of the paragraph mark. And here you see the page break symbol. This is the page break symbol or page break non-printing character. I'm going to go ahead and just press the backspace button to remove that. Okay, let me zoom out a little bit. All right, now it just so happens it's still going down to the next page. We're going to solve this issue in the next video.